Hi, so it's been a while, and this video was, at least in part, supposed to come out like 3 months ago, but college happened, and so I kind of just didn't make YouTube videos for 3 months. But I'm back now, and it's summer, so back to, fingers crossed, making videos like a normal person. This is long-awaited winter and spring favorites video, which actually ends up being more of a winter favorites video, because my spring favorites video, because of college, I was kind of busy and can only do like a few things in my free time. My spring favorites video kind of ended up just being me playing Genshin Impact, so to avoid forcing everyone to watch me talk about Genshin Impact for another like 13 minutes or whatever, maybe longer, I have a problem. I'm just going to make a separate favorites video. It's going to come out next week. That's just going to be me talking only about Genshin Impact and stuff I've been up to in that over the past few months. So if you're interested in Genshin Impact, check out that video next week. And if you're not interested in Genshin Impact, then thank me now, because you don't have to hear me talk about it at all today. What I am going to cover in this video is I'm going to talk a bit about some music I enjoyed, a video I really enjoyed recently, and a bunch of video games. So let's get into it. Unfortunately for you, the Spotify playlists that I actually ended up listening to a bunch over the past few months don't exist anymore, because I would use this single playlist to add music to like listen to while I was walking to class and stuff. But every so often I would empty out that playlist so that I could add in new songs, so it would be like interesting and I wouldn't just be listening to the same songs over and over again. But last time I tried to empty it out, I only added in like 2 songs before I got distracted, so there's only 2 songs in it, and I actually haven't listened to that version of the playlist at all because it's not complete. But yeah, you can no longer find the playlists that I actually was like listening to on repeat every single day, unfortunately, because they had some good music in them. But a playlist that I did get a lot of listens out of that you can actually access still is my Danganronpa V3 the fanfiction playlist, because that playlist was basically like my playlist I was listening to while walking to class, and then I had to make my other playlist that it doesn't exist anymore to make myself not just listen to the same like 12 songs on repeat, because oh boy, that was like all I was listening to for a very long time. And I think it's actually a good playlist, so even if you don't care about my fan fiction, I think you should still listen to the playlist, because it's just a small amount of like really solid songs that like I think anybody could enjoy most of them, so I say you should check it out regardless. What you should also check out is the playlist that I make every single month of any songs that get stuck in my head. So there's playlists for January to May, and each of them just have like a few songs, because like I forget certain songs, like they get stuck in my head and then I forget, oh, I should have put that on the playlist. But like there's a decent amount of the songs that are stuck in my head and won't leave my head. So if you want to know what my brain has been like for the past few months, then definitely check any of those out. And I'll make sure to leave a link to my Spotify in the description, along with like a bunch of links to like the playlists I'm talking about, so that you can find them easily and I'm not just like, go on a wild goose hunt, find things, and then not telling you where to go. So I know I've brought up how much I love Fire Emblem Three Houses music before, because I keep talking about that game, and I love video game music, and that game is great video game music, so why wouldn't I bring it up at every opportunity? But I'm bringing it up now again specifically because there was one day when I was doing homework like all day or whatever, and I just found like a 4-hour playlist, or like I think it was just one video that is just the entire soundtrack, and I just listened to that, and that plus also the DLC for the Ashen Wolves like section, with side story thing, all that music, so good. And it always makes me miss all of my children so much and just running around the monastery, and I'm just like, I keep replaying this game and just like going everywhere I can, even though I've talked to everyone before. I know what they're gonna say. I've been to all corners of the monastery millions of times, and yet I still do it every time. And I just miss everyone so much. Every single time I think about Fire Emblem Three Houses, I'm like, oh, I miss Fire Emblem Three Houses. I need to get back to that, because I care about everybody so much. It's a problem. Also, Edge of Dawn gets me every single time. Like, every single time I listen to it, I will either get emotional or actually cry. And it's just... it makes singing it very hard. because you get overcome by emotion and then you're like, gotta continue, but I can't because it hurts. And how dare it do that to me, honestly. My current favorite book of all time is finally getting a sequel. It comes out in like a few days, and they released an official song to go with it. Why? I don't know, but it's so good. And it makes me like so interested in the sequel. Like, I already was, because it's the sequel to like my favorite book ever, basically. But the lyrics of this song makes me so interested in all of the characters' backstory. Like, I already was, obviously. Obviously. But now I'm like, ooh, this book actually will, like, talk about stuff, which is what I was, like, wanting after finishing the first book, so fingers crossed it's good and I don't just end up with, like, even more questions and then demand a third book. I would love a third book, but, like, I just want answers. Siobhan seems really cool. I mean, like, I've only seen, like, the backside of her and can only infer things from the song lyrics, but she seems pretty interesting and cool to me. And I'm planning on doing a closet cosplay of her after the book releases, because I just think her design looks cool. I would love a jacket of my own that matches hers, but that would be so expensive. Even if they did end up actually releasing something like that as merch, that would be like such an expensive jacket. But I mean, it's my favorite book series, so honestly, if I were ever to buy a really expensive jacket, that would probably be the jacket. A friend of mine in Jade's has a YouTube channel, and she posts Utah covers on it, and honestly, listening to her stuff just brings me back to 2014 when I found people like Liz Robinette doing covers of Vocaloid songs, and just got really into that for a while. All of her videos are great. Plus, she does all the art for her videos, and her art is just so good. She's actually the person who I got to do the art for my 5th anniversary video. So, if you like that art, go check out her YouTube channel and her Instagram if you want to see a bunch more really good art and also really good music. One of her most recent videos has been on a genuine loop because it is just that good. It's an original song that she wrote, and not only do I personally relate to it a bunch, but it also perfectly encapsulates 2 characters from a play / like creative project that I'm working on, and this song is just so good. If you're gonna check out only one thing that she's done, just check out that song. It's so good. She really could not have released it at a better time. I watched a bunch of YouTube over the past few months, and I could be talking about many different YouTube channels here, but instead I'm just going to share the one video that has taken over my entire brain cell and has become my one personality trait.
That's it. Just like that. Embrace the anger. Embrace it! The wrath of the gods fills this factory, and it feeds on your anger.
I played this game back in December, and it's now one of my all-time favorite video games. 100%. It's so good. This game checks all my boxes. It has incredible music. The art is so good. It's hilarious. And also the characters in the story is just so well done. I'm not the best at turn-based RPGs, as evidenced by how many times I need to get my brother to help me when I'm doing Pokemon battles. But Omori makes battles pretty fun, so honestly, I don't mind as much when I'm stuck on a boss that I really shouldn't be stuck on for as long as I am. The battle system's emotion mechanic is really great. I just can never manage to remember, like, what emotion buffs and debuffs what, and what's strong against what. It's just goes in one ear and out the other, and I really should try harder, because it's just like rock, paper, scissors, but I just can't remember all the information I need to. Maybe I should just try harder. Maybe that's why I'm so bad at these games, because I just don't bother to learn how the game works. I should work on that. My favorite battle music, or at least like the most memorable battle music to me, is definitely World's End Valentine, but I'm probably biased on that fact because of the fact that that boss battle I got stuck on for a very long time, so I just heard that track again and again. But honestly, I really do like it, so it's... Other games, I probably have certain songs where I'm like, no flashbacks whenever I hear certain boss battle music, but Omori is pretty good at having the boss battle music be, like, so good that I don't actually mind hearing it for, like, the 100th time, because I'm bad at this game. Like I said, I love the art style of this game, and Space Ex-Boyfriend's design is probably one of my favorites. I love all of the characters, all of Omori's friends. They're just great, and they all mean so much to me. Mari is 100% a comfort character, but that was probably expected considering the fact that Omori is one of my highest kins now. This game ended up breaking me. I thought no other game could beat Super Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair in the camp of, it's the end of the game, you're in the final stretch, you're now going to cry so hard. I thought nothing could beat that game. Omori beat that game. By so much. And I would be I would be worried if another game were to beat Omori now, in the camp of, you cried so hard at the end of a game. Because, oh boy, that was so painful. Ouch. I do plan to replay the game kind of soon, because I kind of gave up on a bunch of the side quests in favor of actually progressing the plot. And also, I want to be able to get a bunch of achievements, so I plan on replaying the game and getting as many achievements as I can in one playthrough, and also, fingers crossed, doing every single side quest available to me. What I really want to achieve is just the most, like, fill to the brim run I can of the good route of the game. And then after that, I'm going to put myself through the pain that is playing the Hikikomori route. So, I don't think I'm ready for that. I have a bunch of free games downloaded on my Steam that I plan to get around to playing at some point, and I'm so glad that this was one of the first ones I actually bothered to, like, pick up and start playing. Immediately from the main screen, I was sold because the intro screen music is just so good. The rest of the game also has such great music. Project Cat Paper Lily Prologue is a prologue/demo of an upcoming horror puzzle RPG game. And the art style is pixel art in-game, but when you talk to characters and, like, interact with them, there will be a anime-style drawing of them next to the text box, which, as someone who really likes visual novels, I really appreciate the fact that they're not just having you talk to the pixel people and they actually have, like, more detailed art of the characters. The puzzles in this game have more than one solution, and the game itself stresses that it wants you to make your own decisions. And while in the demo, the prologue, it doesn't really play out all that much. Like, there's, like, one or two puzzles where you can do that. And, like, you can also kind of pick different routes in general. It doesn't play into it in, like, a long-term way, because it's just a prologue, it's just a demo, so they can't really fit that. It's a free demo that you can finish in, like, an hour. But I'm definitely excited to see how that concept of you can make your own decisions and solve puzzles in multiple ways plays out in the actual full game when it hopefully releases sooner rather than later. I love Kat. She's a great character, and I'm honestly kind of sad that she probably might not even be in the full game at all. And if so, if she is in the full game, she's probably, like, an extremely minor character, which is kind of sad. So I kind of want to be proven wrong and that she actually shows up in the main game, but she's not the main character of the main game, so that's kind of disappointing, because I really like her. She's also another character who I plan to cosplay at some point, because, honestly, she's one of the characters that I, like, look most like, so I wouldn't even have to bother buying a wig for her. If I cosplay her, I just have to buy, like, a dress that kind of matches her outfit, and then just clip my hair back, and then boom, I'm Kat, so definitely plan on doing that at some point. Because of how short this game is, and because I actually bothered to get all the endings, like, I looked up how to get every single ending, this is the only game on Steam I have every single achievement for. Which I'm very proud of. I'm glad that this gets that shining crown of achievement on it. I've heard so many people talk about this game over the years, and I'm actually really glad that I finally caved in and played it. It's an adventure game from 1997, which means it's over 20 years old. And I think if you like 20th century Europe and trains and Dimitri from Anastasia, because I kind of think that the main character of this game reminds me of Dimitri from Anastasia, then I think you'll like this game. And it's also exactly the same reasons why I really like this game. I can definitely see that the rotoscoped live-action graphics of the game would kind of throw a bunch of people off, but I actually really like them, and I kind of find that they add to the atmosphere of the game. The thing that definitely sold me on the game, though, and also caused me a bunch of misery because I'm bad at playing the game, is the fact that it runs in real time, because that means that anything can be happening, like a bunch of stuff is happening on the train at all times, pretty much, and you can easily miss things because of that, which TLDR made me have to rewind the game a bunch. I also died a bunch. But it was a fun game, so I'd recommend it. I forget if I brought this up in my last favorites video or not, but I started a Blue Lions route, and I'm playing male Byleth, and his name is Imumli. I'm pretty indifferent to Dimitri so far, but I love seeing all of his support scenes with the other characters because I love all of the other characters in Blue Lion and just in the rest of the game, so having them have support scenes with him is great and hilarious and fun. Also, literally any support scenes in the game that I haven't seen yet is great, especially Ashen Wolves, because they're my favorites. I've always loved Sylvain and Felix from day one, but honestly, they just keep getting better. Imumli is quite indecisive on his romantic prospects, and unfortunately, everyone in Blue Lions and all the people I've recruited so far, none of them are options. He's gonna romance someone. He does not know who yet, though, unfortunately. I finally beat my first Pokemon game, even though it's the third Pokemon game I've actually played. It's the first one that I've actually completed. This game gave me such bad Bede brain rot. Like, Marnie and Hop are great too, love them, but Bede is by far my favorite character in the game, to the point that it's kind of a problem, because it is head empty only Bede hours, and we know from experience that when I have head empty only one character hours, it's not good, because that is the only thing in my brain for far too long. It fully consumes me. As a Bede enthusiast, it's no surprise that the pink clothing agenda was strong in this game, and honestly, in real life, I would love to own a Fairy Gym uniform. Like one of their shirts. Would love to own one of those. Unlike when I played Pokemon Sun, I wasn't that big of a fan of my team, but don't fear, because I do actually still have a team to share with you guys. So after I finished my first playthrough, which took me a few months, I immediately started a fresh playthrough, and this time I'm only catching Pokemon that I know I will like. So I make sure to check everyone's evolution. If they evolve into a Pokemon that I think is ugly, I don't catch them. Because I don't want them to ruin the aesthetic, the cute aesthetic of my team. I haven't finished playing the game yet because I'm stuck at fighting Raihan, but my team is currently consisting of Bubblehead, Chonku, Cappuccino, June, Lemon, and Dainsleaf. A few more like Goal and Sonia were in my team for most of the game, but they're currently in the box because I don't have enough space for them. I was not really interested in Honkai Impact 3rd, but when Star Rail was announced, I figured that I might as well try Honkai out while I wait for Star Rail to actually release. So far, I'm not super interested in the story, but there is one thing that I am super interested in, and that is Raiden Mei. I have transferred all of my Genshin Impact luck over to Honkai Impact, and I have all 5 available Raiden Mei battlesuits. And she's the only person I play as, except for the occasional Swallowtail Phantasm. She's sometime in my team as well. But, in general, it's just 3 Raiden Meis. We'll have to see how I feel about Honkai by the end of the summer, but fingers crossed there's a bunch of Mei content that I haven't gotten to yet that I'll really enjoy, and if so, then I'll definitely talk about the game again at the end of the summer. But if not, I will probably not really be playing Honkai Impact 3rd anymore, and will just be playing Genshin Impact until Star Rail releases. And that is everything that I've liked over the past few months. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any favorites you want to talk about with me over the past few months, I would love to hear about them, so give me a comment. And if you want to hear about everything that I've been doing in Genshin Impact over the past few months, you can come next week, and there will be another video here. And I will be talking probably for far too long about everything, and there's a lot of stuff to cover. So I hope I'll see you then! Bye!